And we're going. Right, hi. Quick update on Thunder in the East. Just hit the first week of September. So I think things are in the balance a bit. It's been a very interesting game so far. I like the slightly modified tempo to the game. I think the style in purges tweak works well, and the cap on the spend of 8 seems to work, as does the new mobile assault, where you can assault a multi-step unit. So the Russians are definitely feeling it. They're still defending Smolensk. I think Smolensk will go this turn, which first week in September, I think the Battle of Smolensk went on from sort of middle of July to about September 10th, so that's pretty historical. The Germans have Kiev, so they'll get Smolensk this turn, driving on Dnipropetrovsk. That won't go this turn. So I think the Russian sort of state of mind is kind of as it should be. They feel stretched and relieved when the Axis forces extend their advances to beyond the supply network, which hasn't happened yet around Smolensk, but certainly has in the south. So that will take a bit of the pressure off the south and allow them to focus on rebuilding the strengths in front of Moscow, which they'll need to do. I think one of the cards will be their pick this term, which I think gives them like an extra 8 counters to draw from the draw pile, although you're going to add in 8 militia. So you'll seed the militia cup with some fairly weak units, but you get quite a few free improved positions which they'll need, and it's just a case of getting stuff on the ground. I think, getting buddies just to slow the German progress. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I've had a couple of additional updates to play aids from Jay, and they're going down their route. I'm making a conscious decision to just avoid that for now. I think the sort of changes that have been done just by altering rules, really, rather than altering any cards as such, seems to work. The only one tweak to the cards which I have taken on board is that there's a few cards which the sort of longevity of the card is determined by successful failure. So I think, for example, the mobile assault card, you get +1 on each attempt until such time as you fail one, which all seemed a bit hit and miss. If you fail the first one, you think, well, that was rubbish, or it could go on for months. Similarly with the I think the new model tanks deployed one where you get the sort of lightning bolt until you fail to get a shift for the lightning bolt, and I've just chosen for the Germans the fighter aces card. Now I believe in the new rules you just put a 3 timer on that, so you got a 3-turn countdown, and so it doesn't matter if you fail first time, you don't lose it, you just got that window where you're using that particular skill or that extra power. And I actually like that more than the sort of random nature of the you can use it until you lose it type of approach. So I am actually going to use that as well, and have used it so far, and it works fine. So look at the map. I was just going to do this up until the end of Barbarossa, but I think I probably want to push on into the winter and beyond to see how things shape up going into 42 with these tweaked rules. Okay, just kill the light to remove the glare. I think we can still see, there's enough daylight. So those are the cards, 2 small cards for the month of September. So we're going to use the fighter aces. The Russians picked the Flood the Skies card, so there are a number of, I think there's now six Russian fighters, sort of causing a few headaches for the Germans, so they're going to try and quash that threat a little bit and just get some extra troops with hopefully get a decent roll on the Nationalists and Separatists card. So in the north, that HQ has launched a number of attacks, which is essentially swapping blows with the Germans. So they're having to spend their population replacements on rebuilding hits down here. In case you're wondering, those are early OCS hedgehogs, which represent the improved positions. I just do that because once you vacate a position, sometimes you forget who actually owned it. So all I do is I use those for the German IPs, and I use the ones as in the game for the Russians. So that one there, for example, I know that's a vacated Russian IP. The one just nearer to me is a German IP, and so on and so forth. The other little thing I do is, I'll show you in a minute, is when you've got a stack and only one of them is out of supply, I use another OCS marker. So that DG marker just means that the top unit is out of supply and the bottom one isn't. Otherwise you end up having to sort of try and balance the other one on top of a smaller marker. Just find that a bit easier. So a couple of little tips for play that I use. So you can see the position here. That HQ is causing all sorts of problems for the Russians. So these guys are going to certainly take some length this turn, and there's nothing really between there and Moscow, so that's going to get the lion's share of the replacements. There was a partisan attack on Minsk, which created a partisan division. That will need to be dealt with at some point. And you can see the Germans not having it all their own way. They don't have the spare replacement points because they're being drawn away into the north. So yeah, the Russians getting a bit of payback, which is good to see both sides having the opportunity to attack. And around here you can see there's a few of these German units that are just in supply with this HQ down here. But that is the 8 hex range, so once they get beyond there they'll be out. And some of these guys are yeah, you can see the troops out front are all out of supply for the Germans now, so they're not really going to be threatening Dnipropetrovsk for a little while, so the Russians will be able to focus their attention elsewhere. But yeah, it's going well. Two weather cards because I roll for the air at the start of the Russian turn, so neither side gets an advantage in terms of weather forecasting. Have a quick look at the air display. So Germans pretty good. A couple of guys have got damaged. The Russians have got plentiful amounts of fuel, so they're able to use the rush recovery, and they can use it every turn as long as there's decent weather, and they can speed their guys through the recovery process by using additional fuel. They'll start to use more once their mechanised forces come on board. I think in October they're starting to get some tank units which need fuel to build them. But other than that, they're only really spending fuel on building offensives. So there we go. We'll see what September brings.